All right, guys. So it seems like it's just going to be us five for today, which is not an issue. I am recording. Let me make sure it's really recording. Oh yes, it's recording. Perfect. I am recording so that way we can get people caught up who didn't get a chance to make the live practice. So pretty much before we get started, I do want to go over kind of what we're going to be talking about today. The first thing is definitely going to be something called magnetic leadership. Now that everybody in this group is pretty much been labeled a leader, you guys have shown. One second, somebody text me. Somebody has shown, you guys have shown that you guys are leaders and that you have those qualities. So now what we have to do is just make sure that we're keeping the momentum going and remembering magnetic leadership. So we'll talk about that today. We're also going to be discussing how to do client calls, how to do agent calls, how to present. And we won't go too far into this one today because this could be a whole training in itself. But I do want to show you where to get the materials from to practice on your own before our next, our next session. And then we're going to talk about launching new agents. So that's pretty much it for today. It seems like a lot, but it's really not going to be that bad. It's not going to be, too much information because we're going to break it down for you really simple. So real quick, can everybody unmute their lines? I want to kind of make this like informal and kind of personal. And let's discuss the first point now. Over the week, I did tag everybody in certain videos that were going to help you guys kind of get an idea of what new responsibilities we have as leaders. One of those videos that I did tag you in was something called Magnetic Leadership by Nicola Smith Jackson. Did anybody get a chance to watch that video?
I started watching that video. I need to go back and rewatch it from the beginning all the way to the end just to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Okay. Thanks for starting it though. That's good. I know you didn't get a chance to get through the entire thing, but did anything stick out to you while you were watching it? Like anything that you know for sure you want to apply to your practice as a leader and as a business owner?
Just the consistency part and follow-up. I need to work more on my follow-up, a lot more.
Yeah, and you're not the only one. Sometimes I struggle with that too, and I'm glad that you pointed that out because that's one of the things that stuck out to me as well: the consistency and the follow up, and like the commitment to, like even when you don't feel like it, or even when things might be going a little, disarray. The best leaders are able to still handle their business, even in spite of that. So all of us, we all had to grow in that area, even myself and my sister. So, I think that as long as we keep pushing each other, we're going to be good with that. But I'm really glad you pointed that out because that's a huge, huge attribute for leaders, and we should all be mindful of that. Did anybody else get something good from that video, Magnetic Leadership? Okay. All right, well, we'll just go ahead and move on. So one thing I do want to talk about with magnetic leadership is to always stay plugged into some type of personal development. Now, one thing that I shared with the group was something called Making the Shift. And that's a really good personal development audiobook. So if you haven't read it, you're going to want to read it. And the other thing that you guys need to do as leaders now is you need to make sure that your team is being plugged into this personal development as well. So if you haven't read Making the Shift, I'm not read it, but listen to it. I mean, it's only an hour-long listen. You can listen to it while you're, cleaning or what have you. But if you haven't listened to it, you want to make sure that you do that, and then you want to pass this down to your downline. So anybody that is on your team that has not listened to this audiobook, you want to make sure that they listen to it. And as a leader, you now can do something cool as like get your downline together do a Zoom like this and y'all can have a book discussion on the audio book. That's something that's going to mark you as a leader. That's something that's going to create culture and unity within your team. And then it's something that you guys can, again, like I said, have an informal discussion about. So, definitely consider that in your practice as a leader. The next thing that I do want to talk about with magnetic leadership is power start your day. So this is our 8 a.m. call. For our Central Time members, it is at 7 a.m. Okay, so it is a little early for you guys. However, there is also a blog that has the pre-recording. So if by chance you ever miss Power Start Your Day, then you can always go onto the blog site and check out the pre-recording. So 2 things that I'll do is drop the website in the group and the dial-in number. So that way you'll know, what number to use to dial into the call each morning. And you'll also know which website to plug into if by chance you ever miss the call. Now, power start your day is really important. I know sometimes it's hard to catch because it is super early in the morning and we're not all morning people. But if you can get you and your team plugged into Power Start Your Day each and every day, that is going to bring your business, I'm not going to say it's going to bring your business like a lot of enrollments right off the bat because, again, you got to put the work in. But it's going to shape the mindset of you and your team so that everybody has the same goal in mind or so that everybody has the same interest in mind. So, again, this is definitely something that's going to be good as far as developing the culture within your team. And as a leader, that is so important. If your team does not have culture, and if you don't seem reachable, then your people are going to fall off. So, definitely get them plugged into making the shift and also get them plugged into Power Start Your Day. The last thing would be trainings. So you want to stay plugged into trainings. I met Alyssa Barnes. I don't know if you guys know Alyssa Barnes. She's one of our top leaders in the company. She's actually under Alfred Nixon. And she does a lot of our training. She actually did one of the trainings that was on our Day Long Live last Saturday. She's amazing leader, and she has a really good organization. But anyways, I met her at one of our trainings before, and she literally told me, never miss a training. Never miss a training. And that stuck with me. One, because she is my favorite leader. I'm going to just be very transparent. She is my favorite top leader. So, I really admire her. And then 2, it just stuck with me because it's true. If you're missing trainings, you might be missing out on valuable information. And even though within our business, there is a system, we know the system. Sometimes the things that we hear on trainings can be repetitive. There's always going to be that one thing that you're going to hear someone say that's going to stick with you and is not going to be on the next training because all trainings are raw. And so you guys want to make sure that you're there for the rawness. If you're there for the rawness, you're going to always be at the top of your game as a leader. So definitely make sure that you're getting on trainings and make sure you're holding your downline accountable for getting on trainings. Also, if you're in this group and you don't have a downline yet, it's okay. I saw something in you that let me know, okay, you're going to be a leader. So just prepare for your downline when they come, okay? Now, the next thing we can get into is client calls. So, client calls. This is what I want us to focus on first. Is making sure that we know, as well as our agents who are under us know, where our enrollment links are. So that can seem simple, but some people really struggle with remembering this. So real quick, what you want to do is, what I'm going to do is show you guys where your enrollment links are. So if you're enrolling an agent, you can go into your back office. go to the tab enrollment, do agent enrollment, and then the enrollment link will come right up with all the information that you need to input for your prospect. If you are signing up a client, you will definitely have to go into the UCES website. You cannot sign up a client through the FES website. You'll go into email marketing, and then from there, you'll choose whichever enrollment link you plan on using. So if you're doing full price, it'll definitely be the first one. If it is, if you're giving them a $50 off discount, you want to do the second one. And if it's, if you're waiving a startup fee, then you want to do the third one. So as a leader, you want to make sure that you know where to get your enrollment links from, and you want to make sure that your downline knows where to get those links from as well. So that way, you know, you guys can close the deal efficiently. So knowing where your enrollment links are is a good thing. Now, I want to give you guys a warning. Oops, hold on. I want to give you guys a warning. You take their info. It's just easier. If you take their info and you close them out on the phone using your enrollment links as opposed to sending your links out to them and relying on them to do it, it's just better. Number one, you're more in control. Number two, you know for sure the deal is getting closed in the time that you needed to get closed. And number three, again, it's just for security. You know for sure that it's done. You just know for sure that it's done. A lot of times when we send our links out to people, number one, they can choose something wrong. Like for instance, if you're trying to sign up an agent and you just send your link out to an agent, it's 3 different agent options. You can do the one with the UCES, you can do the one with the standard one, and then you can do the one with the FES Plus. So if you're sending your link out to them, you risk the chance of them signing up for the wrong thing. So that's one thing. And then as far as with the client as well, you just want to make sure again that you're in complete control of the close. So you want to take their info. You need to know where your enrollment links are for you. I don't send my enrollment links out unless I trust the person to go ahead and do it, or unless I'm in a rush. But for the most part, you want to take their info over the phone and you want to sign them up, and you want to teach your downline to do the same thing. So that way, people aren't getting their hopes up thinking people are going to sign up once they send them out their link, and then they don't get the clue. So you want to make sure that you're taking their info. The next thing, you want to make sure that your person knows how to edify. Edification is huge, and it's a few things, a few warnings that I want to say with edification. One, this is a tip for you guys and for your prospects, because this is something that I have noticed on 3-way calls. Sometimes when you're edifying your upline, you guys tend to get in the habit of de-edifying yourself. And I want to make sure that everybody within our organization knows to never do that. I don't care if you just started, you know, the day before or the day of. When you're on the phone and you edify, you got to pretend as if you've been in this business for the 15 years that this business has been standing. And you have to have that type of poise and that type of confidence, and you got to make sure that your downline knows that too. Because if they get on a 3-way call with somebody and they're going to introduce you, and then they start, getting down on themselves and saying, okay, well, I only been doing this for a week, or I only been doing this for two months, and she knows so much more than me, or I don't know as much as her. Then number one, it makes you look less credible and less confident. And then number two, it kind of makes your upline look bad as well, because your upline should be making sure that you're confident. That's our job, is to make sure that you're being confident. So you want to make sure that when you're edifying your upline, you're not de-edifying yourself. I meant to say de-edifying. Yeah, make sure you're not de-edifying yourself. And you want to make sure that your agents know not to do that as well. 3-way calls can be a little bit nerve-wracking. Sometimes you get nervous and you feel like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this or whatever. But make sure your people know to be confident, not to de-edify themselves, and to just literally just have that posture and be in control of the entire thing. Another thing you need to make sure your agents know. You are in control of the conversation. So when they're edifying you and then they go on to pass the call over to you, your people shouldn't be telling your prospect, just ask her anything that you want to ask her. No, I'm not a counselor. Don't ask me anything that you want to ask me. I'm taking control of the conversation. So never, when you pass the call off to your upline, never let the prospect feel like they're in control, because they're not. Your upline is in control. So when you pass the call off, you want to make sure that you say, Akila, meet such and such meet Akila, and then you just leave it at that. Don't tell them to ask me whatever they want, or don't tell them to ask your upline whatever they want, because then that's when the call just starts off bad. Sometimes the prospect will just start talking and telling their whole life story and dominating the call, and then it takes the power away from your upline, who is actually trying to close the deal. So you want to make sure that you're mindful of that when you're on three-way calls, and you want to make sure that your people know that too, because they cannot set you up for failure. If they get you on this three-way call, they got to set you up for a close. So it can't be about it. You have to make your prospect feel comfortable, yes, but it can't be all about the prospect. You got to give your upline some respect too, and you got to make sure that when you're in a position of doing a three-way call, your people are doing the same thing for you, so that way you have that posture to go ahead and close out the deal. So if anybody has any questions on that, let me know if I need to clarify anything on that point, because that's a really important point. And I definitely want to clarify some things if you guys need it. And if you guys think I explained it well too, let me know and I'll go ahead and move on.
I think you explained it well.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Ms. Adrian.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, so remember that you're in control, or maybe I should say upline is in control. Never give the prospect the control. That ain't how we negotiate around her. Okay, the one who's asking the most questions is the one that's in control. Now, speaking of questions, that goes into my next point. There's something called a 5-question close that we pretty much use to close out our clients on the client call. So a lot of you guys have been on calls with me before. You probably already know the first thing that I always ask them is, what's negatively impacting your score? That's the first question. So what negative items do you have on your score? The second question would be, what goals do you have in mind? Are you looking to purchase a home? Are you looking to purchase a car, start a business? What's your goals? So that's the second question that you ask. Hey, Tiana. The third question that you'll ask is, what's your current credit score? And then the fourth question would be, let me go back and look before I start lying to y'all. I don't want to lie to y'all. Oh shoot, I didn't see Vanessa's message until just now. Let me go to it. I don't want to lie to y'all. Also, I'm recording it, so if you missed a little bit in the beginning, it's okay, because the recording is coming out. Where's that 5-question close? I might have to go to it in my notes. I'm gonna look for it in here too, but I might have to go to it in my notes. Okay, I got it in my notes. Never mind. I'm not going to go here. Let me go back to Google. Okay. So the 5-question clues. So the first question would be, what do you need to get off your credit report? And you can word that any way you want to be totally honest with you. But pretty much that's what you're asking them. Like, what negative items do you need to get off your credit report? That's usually the first question I always ask. If you've ever been on a three-way call with me, you know for sure that's what I ask all clients. And this is another follow-up question. Now, sometimes you don't have to ask this question, but sometimes you may have to ask them this, okay? So it may be something that you may say, okay, any hard inquiries, late payments, collections, repos, tax liens, bankruptcies, etc. And sometimes you gotta ask that question because you'll have people that be like, I don't know what's on my credit report. And then from there it's like, okay, where do I go next? So that will be the next question if they say they don't know. Okay. But if they do know, then it's cool. You'll just go on to this question next. One sec. What are your goals? That's what I was telling y'all. What are your goals? Are you looking to purchase a house or a car or start a business? Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. The reason why I asked this one is because I'm trying to see if they want to be an agent. So I'm like, are you trying to start a business? But of course, in the real script, it just says, are you looking to purchase a house or a car? But I always slip that in just to see if I could slip in agent as well in a way without being pushy. And then the next question would be, what's your current credit score? Boom. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 questions. And then the 5th thing is the close. So we'll go over the close real quick. But before we go over the close, I just want to reiterate these questions. So I'm literally telling y'all, no matter what your prospect says, ask these questions in this order. Even if they tell you some off the wall stuff about their credit, just go right on to the next thing. So what are your goals? Because honestly, we're here to market the service. We are not credit specialists, so we are not in a position to kind of really give people advice on which way to go with their credit. And to be totally honest with you, our company is the type of company that no matter what the person's credit file looks like, they're going to be able to work with them. And if for whatever bizarre reason the company can't do anything for a client, they're going to refund them 100%. So just rely on that. When your prospects start telling you like their whole life story and things like that, don't worry about it. Stick to the status quo. Just stay in the same line of questions, because at the end of the day, most likely our company is going to be able to help them. And like I said, for whatever bizarre reason, if by chance they got something on there that our company can't get off, then what we're going to do is refund them their money. Let me mute these lines real quick. All right. So those are the questions. Just stick to the status quo with these questions. You want to, I always tell people, say less when you're on the phone. You do not need to do a whole lot of talking because the company speaks for itself. So once you get them, once you ask them these questions, this is pretty much just an engagement. This is your hook. You're getting them engaged in the conversation. You're getting them to know, number one, I'm not here to scam you. Number two, I'm not here to, just get a sale. I kind of want to build the rapport with you. And then I want to tell you what we have to offer. So that's the questions. Stick to the status quo again. No matter what they tell you, ask these questions. And say less. Say less. That's my number one rule. But now we can get into the close. So the close is pretty much what you want to highlight about the company. I'm gonna tell y'all the things that I always highlight about the company. Always tell us the company name. So I always say United Credit Education Services. I also say nonprofit. I always tell them we're a nonprofit organization because we ain't even going to get into that. Oh, are you a scam? No, we're a nonprofit organization. So as soon as I say that, then people already understand, like, okay. Sometimes I will let them know that we have been featured on the Steve Harvey Show. Depending on what type of mood I'm in, I'll say that. You really don't have to say that, honestly, because even without this, our company is great. But sometimes you got to sprinkle little names on people. And it's nothing wrong with that. I see nothing wrong with that. So let them know that we're United Credit Education Services, nonprofit organization featured on the Steve Harvey Show. We've been around for 15 years. Once I say that, boom, I feel more comfortable talking more about what else we have to offer. So I let them know that what we do is help them communicate with the credit bureaus. I spelled that all wrong. Bureaus. I still spelled it wrong, but it's okay. They checked it for me. Thank you. Help them communicate with the credit bureaus. I always say that hold on, I lost my train of thought. Okay. I also say that we are an accelerated program. I let them know we're going to dispute all items at once and all bureaus at once. Period. I also let them know clients are typically on our program for 3 to 7 months. No contract. No contract. And then I also let them know that they get a confidential online portal, which allows them to track their progress. So that's usually like my first breath. I say all that in one breath, to be totally honest with you. That's my first breath. And then after I say that, I start getting a little bit more into the process. So you do want to explain the process. You want to explain it as quick as possible. So you want them to know that once they get started, they get access to that portal. They'll verify their personal info. Agree to have us do a detailed analysis of their credit file. Now, the reason why I say detailed analysis is because I don't feel like explaining to them hard pull. Because sometimes people, when you tell them hard pull, they're like, well, is my credit going to go down? And it's like, well, ma'am or sir, yeah, your credit's going to go down if we do a hard pull, but it's going to go right back up because you're signing up for credit restoration. So sometimes people do kind of give you those like scary things. So what I do just to eliminate all fears is I say detailed analysis. So you're going to agree to have us do a detailed analysis of your credit file. And then from there, our attorneys will do all the legal work for you. They'll draft up dispute letters on your behalf, plus give you education. I love this part. Always say education, because don't nobody else do this. Our company does that. So you're giving education on how to understand the dispute letters. Give you education on how to understand the dispute letters, as well as instructions on how to send the letters out to the creditors. Boom. And I always tell them, we involve you in the process so that you're educated on how it works, and so that you can track your progress. And I might say something like, it's nothing worse than being on a credit program that, where you don't know what's going on, but you're consistently paying on it without seeing any results. That's how I say that. Because sometimes you're going to come in contact with people that be like, why can't y'all just mail them out? I don't feel like doing this. Da, 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 da. And I always tell them, just so that they can hush a little bit, well, it's nothing worse than being on a credit program where they're going to keep on charging you and you don't know what's going on. And then usually when I say that, they're like, oh, true. And then they just hush right on up and then they just go with the program. So sometimes you just got to learn how to, lead people. And let me get rid of some of these typos. Okay. Okay. Then I'll go on to say, once the creditors receive your letters, by law, that's important, by law, they have 30 to 45 days to contact you back with a result. Once you get your results, you want to send them in to our company. And I always say, we teach you how to do that, because we do. How to do that. And then we'll either update your credit file or draft up another round of disputes. So I say that, and then I always plug this in. This is important, y'all. We guarantee I don't know how to spell, y'all, so don't laugh at me. We guarantee up to 5 rounds of disputes per negative item. So pretty much, we ensure our clients that we're going to work diligently until the negative item is removed. If for whatever reason it can't be removed after the 5th round, which rarely happens, we set you up with credit building options. Boom. So that's pretty much how our program works. I lied. I'm sorry. Let me finish writing this sentence. And I lied, y'all, because that's what we ain't talk about. We didn't talk about none of the other services. Okay. Now, my tip for your other services is 3 sentences. That's it, 3 sentences. And the easiest thing to do is to just choose 3 services that you like and just talk about those. But I kind of do it a little bit different. I do it a little bit different. This is how I do it. I'm gonna show you how I do it. So this is how I plug about the other services. We also give you access to credit attorneys, and we teach you how to maintain your high score beyond our program with our credit builder app. That's the first sentence. That's my first sentence always. This is my second sentence. We also give all of our clients tools that help them budget, save, and eliminate debt. And everyone gets identity theft protection and resources they can use to teach their children about the fundamentals of financial literacy. So me, with my 3 sentences, I kind of leverage more than 3 services. They always say pick your favorite 3 and leverage those. But sometimes I feel like it's a little bit more strategic to leverage more, but just say less. So I definitely leverage the credit attorneys and the credit builder in the first sentence. Second sentence gives me budgeting, savings goal, and debt elimination. And then the fourth one gives me the identity theft protection and the YFL Family Mint. So that's 7 services that I just listed in only 3 sentences. And we do have what, 11 or 12 services that come for free with the credit repair. So I'm missing some, but the ones I'm missing are miscellaneous. It's the net worth calculator, the financial lockbox. What else is it? Ooh, I ain't said the will and trust document. Now y'all might want to say that will and trust document because that's a game changer. But I didn't list that in mind, but that's one that you can definitely leverage. But that's pretty much what I do. And after I say that, so I say, so that's pretty much how it works. Do you have any questions for me? And usually the question is pricing. And so from there, I just let them know the price. You get all that value for only, and I say this one first. Hold on. I say this one first. I don't say 188 first. I say $89 per month. Then I say, to get started today, it is a $99 activation fee. That goes with your first month's fee. So all together, it's $188 to start, $89 per month. And what I can do today, because you're trying to close them out today, what I can do today is teach you how you can qualify to get your $89 subscription fee completely. No, don't say completely. I'm sorry, I stopped saying that. Boom. And then once I say that, and I'll say, so are we looking to get you started today? Boom. And it's not pushy. It's never pushy when you ask them that. If you say it like that, if you set it up like that, it's not pushy. So don't be afraid to close them. You can't say all that and then be afraid to ask them if they getting started today. All right, so you got to ask them right there on the spot. So, are you getting started today? And they'll say yes or no. They'll tell you why. If they can't get started today, they'll let you know why. So if it's a issue with the money, you can offer discount, but they got to give you a shout out. Period. They got to give you a shout out. Okay, so you can offer them a discount, but they got to give you a shout out. Or if they don't want to give you a shout out for a discount, then what you can do is, oh wait, you know what? Let me make this one B. Uh-oh, did I mess up? Uh-oh, shoot, I did. Offer a discount, but get your shout out. I'm still keeping a period. Okay. If it's an issue with the money, another thing you can do is take a pre-app. Does everybody know what a pre-app is? If you don't, I can explain it real quick. All right. So pretty much, I'll explain it. Pretty much a pre-app is when you take all of your prospects' information, And then you put a date on it for when you're going to process it. So pretty much how I do my it's a bunch of different ways to do a pre-app. Some people will like literally get a notebook that they use for pre-apps, and they'll write their people's information down in the notebook, keep it in the notebook, and then process it on the date that they give them. I personally don't like doing it like that. One, because I don't like to have people's personal info. So this is what I'll do. I'll do it like this. I'll like act like I'm enrolling them on my phone, right? But when I'm enrolling them and I'm putting their information in, I'll screenshot it so that way I see the information. And then I'll make sure that on the day I process it, right? As soon as I process the information, the screenshots are getting deleted. So that's how I like to do it. Everybody has their own different way of doing things. My thing with the pre-app, and I'll put this in all capital letters, is, and this is with the whole entire business, but especially pre-apps, you need to have a pure heart and clean hands. So if you're doing a pre-app for somebody, make sure you don't keep their info. Make sure you find a way to not keep their info. Make sure you have good intentions. I know everybody in this group is good, but I just had to say these things because you're dealing with people's personal information, number one. And then number two, when you do go ahead and get permission from them to go ahead and process the information on that date, you want to make sure that you communicate with them on that date as well. Now, some people, they'll be like, well, should I tell them that I'm going to process it first before I process it? You don't have to, because on the call, when they gave you that date, that was the confirmation, right? But what you can do is on the date, once you do process it, you can shoot them a text like, hey, I just processed your information. Here are your instructions on how to get your services activated. And in those instructions, the number of the corporate office is there as well. So if anything, if it's a thing where they feel like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't do it this week, they can just call corporate. But you got permission when they gave you the date. Does that make sense, guys? With the pre-app?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, cool. So pre-app is good because it gives you the chance to still close the deal. It just might not be on the date that you did the call. But if they give you a date that they know for sure they'll have the money in their account, and they let you do a pre-app, and once you ask them and everything is okay, then you're good. Again, like I said, once they give you the date, that's the confirmation. So go ahead and process their information on the date that they gave you, and then you want to follow up with them after you process it, giving them instructions on how to activate everything. If they don't want to do a pre-app, you can also offer them a discount to get you a shout out. Now, if all else fails and they don't want to give you a shout out and they don't want to do the pre-app, that's okay. Add them to the group and then tag them. Steve Harvey post. Tab, yeah. And then just do that, and then that's it. But I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I'm gonna tell y'all the honest to God truth. I don't really do pre-apps like that. And the reason why I don't do pre-apps like that, sometimes for me it's a little not confusing, but sometimes for me it's just like a little bit much. So what I'll do is I always go to this one first, offer a discount, and then add them to the group. Certain people you can definitely get pre-apps from, but it's just you got to fill it out. I say always ask. Definitely always ask, but you got to fill it out, and you got to be on top of your game with the pre-apps. Make sense, everybody?
Yes.
Cool. Now, one thing that I do, and I want you guys to get in the habit of doing this, when you are on a three-way call with someone in your downline, you want to make sure that you go through all of this while you're on a phone. Don't leave nothing up to them. Because, for instance, say if I get done, right, and I say, so are we looking to get you started today? And they say no. I can't say, okay, well, that's fine. I'm going to give the call back over to such and such, and they're going to go ahead and finish the call, because such and such might not ask that person for a shout out, and such might not think to add that person to the group. And so if you're not there making sure that your person is getting the maximum opportunity out of the three-way call, then you kind of wasting your time and their time. So as a leader, you got to make sure that your person is good. You got to make sure that your person is getting everything that they can out of their prospect. Number one, because you're going to be modeling what they should be doing with their people. And then number two, that's going to keep them with the pipeline of people that's interested. It also keeps them from not being discouraged as well, if somebody doesn't close out right away. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So leaders, that is how the agent, the client calls usually go. That's literally how the client calls usually go. Client calls are kind of harder than agent calls. Agent calls are a little bit simpler, believe it or not. But that's pretty much it. So before we go on to the agent calls, I do kind of want to read over this really quick. Just to make sure we didn't leave anything out. So pretty much, you wanna when you're doing a client call, again, you want to make sure that you and your agent, whoever you're working with, knows exactly how to enroll that prospect. So you need to make sure that they know where their enrollment links are. You also want to make sure that they know how to properly edify you. You also want to tell them not to de-edify themselves, okay? They should not be de-edifying themselves, because if they do, it's going to make them look amateur, and it's just not going to be a good look. So never tell your people, never say, oh, well, I'm new, or well, she knows so much more than me, or nothing like that. You want to make sure that you seem like your person seems like a expert too. Okay, so teach them how to edify. Teach them how to not de-edify themselves in the process. Teach them that the upline is in control. So when it's time for them to pass the call over to you, do not let the other person have a whole bunch of control. No. They have to give you the power. So they pass the call over to you, you pick it up. So, they can't cater too much to the prospect to where it kind of takes the power from you. Whoever asks the most questions is the person who's in control. Always remember that when you're on three-way calls, guys. So with that being said, once you get control, you start asking them questions. You do the 5-question close. First question is, what do you need to get off your credit report? All right. Second question is kind of optional. If they tell you all what they need, then you can skip down to the third question. But if not, you may need to clarify some things. So any hard inquiries like late payments, collections, repos, tax liens, bankruptcies, anything like that. All right, based on their answer, then you go on to the next thing. Okay, so what are your goals? Are you looking to purchase a house or a car? Or are you looking to start a business? Again, I plug start a business in because I'm trying to see if they money-minded or business-minded, and they may want to be interested in agent. And then after they tell me what their goals are, all right, so I ask them, all right, cool. So where are you now? What's your current credit score? They tell me, okay, no problem. So here's how we can help. Our company is called United Credit Education Services. We are a nonprofit organization. We've actually been featured on the Steve Harvey Show, and we've been in business for 15 years. Pretty much what we're going to be doing is helping you communicate with the credit bureaus. We are an accelerated program, meaning that we are going to dispute all of your items at once and dispute all credit bureaus at once. Our clients are typically on our program anywhere for 3 to 7 months. We do have a no contract program, which is amazing because it gives you some flexibility. You'll also gain access to a confidential online portal, which allows you to track your progress. Here's how the process works. Once you get started, you're going to access your portal. You're going to verify your personal information and then agree to have us do a detailed analysis of your credit file. Our attorneys will do all the legal work for you. They'll draft up dispute letters on your behalf. They'll give you education on how to understand the dispute letters, as well as instructions on where to send those letters out. When you're going to send them out to the creditors. We also involve you in the process so that you're educated on how it works, and also so that you can track it, because there's nothing worse than being on a credit program where you don't know what's going on and you're consistently paying on it without seeing any results. So once the creditors receive your letters, by law, they're going to have 30 to 45 days to contact you back with the result. Once you get your results, you want to make sure you send them into the company. We're going to teach you how to do that, so don't worry. We'll either update your credit file or draft up another round of disputes for you based on your results. The good thing about us is we guarantee up to 5 rounds of disputes per negative item. So pretty much we're ensuring to all of our clients that we're going to be working diligently until all of your negative items are removed. And for whatever reason, if it can't be removed after the 5th round, which rarely ever happens, we're going to make sure that you're set up with some credit building options as well. Now, we do have some other services that you're going to be allowed to access for absolutely free along with your credit restoration. So we're going to give you access to credit attorneys, and we teach you how to maintain a high credit score beyond our program with our Credit Builder app. We also give all of our clients tools that are going to help them budget, save, and eliminate debt. And we give everybody identity theft protection and resources that they can use to teach their children about the fundamentals of financial literacy. So that's pretty much how our program works. Do you have any questions for me? And then they'll be like, no. Some people will say no. It's like, how you gonna have no questions for me and you ain't hear me say nothing about the price? But usually the next thing you go into is pricing. All right, so yeah, you get all that value for $89 per month. To get started today, it is a $99 activation fee that goes with your first month's fee. So altogether it's going to be $188 to start, $89 per month. And what I can do for you today is actually teach you how you can qualify to get that $89 subscription fee waived. So are we looking to get started today? And if they say yes, then we enroll them. If they say no, then we ask them, okay, well, when do you think that you'll be able to have the money to get started? They give us a date. Okay, so would you be interested in doing something called a pre-app? This is actually a process where we can use to actually go ahead and get your information and get you a date to go ahead and process your information, and then we'll get you started on that date. And if they agree to the pre-app, then you go ahead and take the information, do the pre-app. If they say, no, I don't want to do a pre-app, because let's be real, some people don't know for sure if they're going to have the money in their account on that date. So if they say, no, I don't want to do the pre-app, it's okay. Just say this, all right, well, no worries. What I'm going to do is actually offer you a discount because I can actually help to get your get your startup fee waived or get you $50 off, whichever discount you want to give them. Would you mind making a shout out for me on your timeline, on your social media? That way I can get connected to more people, and then I'll go ahead and give you the discount just for doing that for me. And then if they agree to that, boom, enroll them give them the shout out post, let them do the shout out, and then you can either enroll them for the discount that day, which I like to do, or if they still don't have it on that day, then you let them know they can redeem their coupon whenever they're ready. And I like to do that because it's like, it's no sweat. Like you didn't let me tap into your contacts. So I'll still give you a little discount when you're ready to sign up. Because at the end of the day, whether I give you a discount or not, it's still helping with volume. And as a leader, you always want to have volume because you're going to need it for your promotions, and you may need extra volume to help shift points to other people so that it can help them get promotions. So don't be scared to give a credit client a discount or waive their fee. And then definitely, again, ask for the shout out. Even if you close them and they get started, still ask for the shout out. Always ask for the shout out. And then you want to always make sure that you tag your prospect to the group and tag them in a Steve Harvey post.
Oh no, because Shakira was saying she was in Maryland. Not from those specific.
So yeah, so whether they sign up or not, ask for a shout out. Whether they sign up or not, tag them in that Steve Harvey post. And again, when you're doing a 3-way call for another agent, you want to make sure that you cover all these bases for them. Never, ever, ever, ever leave it up to them. After you finish that call, that your agent shouldn't even have nothing to say. They should just be like, oh, okay, so everything is done. Talk to you later. They shouldn't even have nothing to say because you cover every base for them. You closed the deal for them, or if you didn't close the deal for them, you tap rooted for them, and you made sure that that client remembered who your agent is. So if you covered all your bases, your agent shouldn't even have anything to say after the call, and the call should be ended, and then the enrollment should either be coming that day or that Friday, or again, tap rooting, going into giving shout outs. So does anybody have any questions about the client calls before we move on? Y'all good with that? Y'all can unmute your lines and tell me to.
I'm good with that.
Okay. All right. Cool. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Everybody else, where y'all at? Y'all sleep? Let's wakey, eggs and bakey.
No, that was perfect.
All right. Cool. 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 I'm glad y'all got it. So, definitely, I'm gonna make some edits to this too, and I'll send this out to everybody as well. But let's move on to agent calls. So, I'm telling y'all, agent calls, even though they don't seem simpler than client calls, they're a lot simpler. Pretty much when you get an agent prospect on the phone, your number one priority is to, number one, see if they watch that dang on video. Because sometimes they don't. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is, okay, you watch the video. Now I want to see if you qualify. Now, qualification is so important because you don't want just anybody on your team. When you build a team with just anybody, it slows your team down sometimes. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with y'all. You can qualify certain people and they'll give you all of the things that you need to hear. And then when it's time for them to work, they still won't work. So in the event that happens, that's not your fault, you know? But it is your fault if you're signing people up who clearly don't qualify. So that's why we want to make sure we go through this process first before we bring in new agents. Make sense, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So let me see. Where's my qualifying questions? I want to pull them up so that way I'm telling y'all the right thing. Okay. So before you get on the call, they got to watch the video already. All right. And then once you get them on the call, your main goal is to see if they're qualified. So the very first thing that I asked them is, what did you like most about the company? And the reason why I asked them this is because I'm just trying to see where their head is. I'm just trying to see what they like. Usually this will give you a whole lot because you'll have people that'll say really good things about the company and you'll see that they see the value. Sometimes you might have people that may be like, well, why I gotta pay to start? And that kind of shows you where their head is too. So it's good to always ask that question. And if they do ask you that, never be dismissive. I always say, well, you're buying into a franchise. And you're actually putting yourself in a position to become your own boss and run your own business. So that's why there is a startup fee of less than $300. And I'll ask them like right up front, is that feasible for you? Because if you asking me about why I got to pay right up front before we even get to any other questions, then I'm going to ask you if it's feasible for you before we go any further, because if not, I'm hanging up. And I'm not going to hang up on you. I'm just going to like quickly like get off the call. I'm like, okay, have a good day. Get off the call. Because if it's not feasible for you, or if you got that mindset where it's like, I'm worried about how much it's going to cost me before I'm worried about how much I'm going to gain from it, then we can't really go. You kind of disqualified yourself. We can't go really much any further. But anyway, that was a whole mouthful. You ask them what they like most about the company, they're going to tell you. So then the next thing that you want to do is you want to respond by relating to them. For instance, if they say, okay, I like the fact that you guys are helping the youth with your youth financial literacy program, then you can be like, yes, I love that too. I actually love children, and I believe that that's the best way to break generational curses or whatever. Or if they say, I like the fact that I can make money from home. Exactly, me too. I needed to be able to do that because I need to be able to still pay my bills, but I still want to spend time with my children. So you say something to piggyback off of what they just said to relate to them, and then you go into this next question. Hold on. Okay. So you'll ask them, where are you from and what do you currently do for a living? Now, you may already know where they're from, so you can, make that part natural. If you already know where they're from, don't ask them that again. But the main thing is, what do you currently do for a living? Then once they give you that, then you ask them what makes you want to partner with us. What makes you want to partner with our company? And then they'll tell you. They'll pretty much tell you, yeah, because I need some more time. I was looking for something that I can actually do. Oh, I actually need my credit fixed, so it kind of makes sense to work on my credit. And they'll tell you. They'll tell you exactly why do they want to partner with us. All right. And then what you'll need to ask them next once they say that, and then you'll say, so if you were to join our team, about how much per week would you need to be making in order to make this worth your while? Now, this question right here is the whole reason why I'm saying we got to make sure that they watch that video before we talk to them, because if they never saw our compensation plan, or if they don't even know how much we get paid, then they're not going to be able to answer this question, and it's going to take your power away. It's going to take your power away as the person who's supposed to be closing the deal. So in order to keep the power, you got to make sure they watch that video first. So you definitely want to make sure they watch it, so that way they know exactly. They start calculating in their head what they need to do in order to get what they need. It puts it in a thing where it puts them in a position where, based on the information that they watched on the video, once you take them through this questioning process, they're pretty much closing themselves out. You're not even closing them out anymore. They're closing themselves out. It's psychological. So that's why you got to make sure they watch that video. But you ask them, so if you were to join our team, about how much per week would you need to be making in order to make this worth your while? They're going to tell you. Some people might be like, I don't know, I'm just starting off. Da, da, da. So in that case, sometimes what I'll do is I'll give them a goal. And usually the goal is 200 per week. Do you think an extra 200 per week will help you out? If they say yes, all right, cool. So that's feasible. That's only 2 enrollments, right? You think you can do that each week? Yeah. So once they say that, yeah, then it's like, okay, so now I know you're willing to play the game. You know what I mean? I know you're willing to play the game. So just keep that in your mind. I'm not going to write that down because I don't have that in my script. That's something that I always just do extra, okay? Actually, you know what? I will write that down. So hold on. They'll give you a goal, or you create it. I usually do 200 weekly, which equals 2 clients weekly. If they say they can do that, if they say they can see themselves doing that, then you know you got somebody that's willing to play the game. And that's really the biggest qualification. If I know that you're willing to play the game, then you can be on a team. So after we find out that they're willing to play the game, then my next question is, have you ever ran your own business or had a specific leadership role? And then based on that, I might ask this question. Might. I'm gonna put optional. Because some people don't really have a lot of leadership experience. Some people never ran their own business, but that don't mean they don't have leadership qualities. So this one is optional. That's if you don't get a really good answer to this, then you ask this question. Okay, so what do you think your top 3 leadership skills are? This right here is a good question. I like to ask that question, especially if I got a bad answer to the first question. Sometimes I'll still ask it, even if I got a good question. I'm just trying to get to know the person a little bit more personally. Plus, people love talking about themselves, so they'll love their question. After that, I'll be like, okay, great. So it definitely sounds like you're a good fit for us. And I'll say this, I like to say this for posture. Hold on. I already know that we're a good fit for you. So my next question is, are you ready to invest and launch your business with us today? Bam. You ready to get started today? You ready to invest? You got that 288? You ready to you ready to launch? I mean, it's kind of like I'm saying that without saying it. I'm saying it in a nice way. So my next question for you is, are you ready to invest and launch your business with us today? Boom. Code is, you got the 288. Let's get you started. And if they say, okay, yeah, I'm ready. You want to enroll them and launch them on the spot. Bam. Now, when I say on the spot, I mean on the spot. So you want to enroll them right away. Remember, I told y'all, hold on. Excuse me. When you enroll somebody, you want to make sure that you enroll them over the phone. You want to take all their information. So you enroll them right then and there. While you have them on a call, pull up your link, take the information, get them enrolled. Once they're enrolled, you get your emails, they get their emails saying that, they're part of the team. The next thing you want to do is send them feslaunch.com, password freedom. Tell them to watch the first 3 videos. Tell them to watch the first 3 videos. And then set up a time to launch them via Zoom. I don't care who you are. If you in this group, I really want you to launch your new agents via Zoom, so that way they can get the visuals. It's also more personable. It's just a better way of doing it. Some people do launch over the phone. However, I don't like that. I feel like Zoom is better. So everybody should be launching their people via Zoom. If they watch all the videos beforehand, the actual launch process part takes less than 45 minutes. So just, make sure that y'all set 45 minutes aside to go through the launch document. But you want to make sure that you launch them right away. Do not wait more than 24 hours to launch your new agents. And make sure that if new agents are coming in through people that's in your downline, make sure that you launch them unless their upline knows how to launch already. Make sense?
Yes. Can you scroll up a little bit?
Put it up. Okay, here you go.
Okay,
Yeah. So that's that. So yeah, agent calls are a lot easier than client calls, believe it or not. That's literally it for the agent call. If they say no, hold on, let me go to no. If they say no, meaning they're not ready to, like they want to do it, but they're not ready to invest, then you go straight to the trial run. And then you also want to add them to the group. But going straight to the trial run is good. because you're giving them hope still. Like, okay, you don't have the money today, but we can still put you on a trial run. You don't need funds to do a trial run. All you got to do is post this post on social media, giving me a shout out. And let's see how many people you can get to comment on that post. If you can get a lot of comments on the post, then we'll revisit this and figure out whether or not maybe you can come up with a way to get the 288 so you can start and make a return on your investment today. Now, one thing that I do, I do this. Y'all don't have to do this. This is all personal choice. But I do this because I like to do it. I'll tell them this. I'll say, okay, once you make that trial run post for me, if I can get 3 to 4 enrollments off that post, what I'll do is I'll use that to partially invest. Now, I used to fully invest in people, but I don't fully invest in nobody anymore because I realized that when you fully invest in people to start this business, they don't take it serious. So I'll tell them that if I can get 3 to 4 enrollments, I'll partially invest. And then they're willing to do that as well. So those are 2 options that you can do. You can either create the urgency by just using the fact that they got a lot of leads to make them figure out a way to come up with the money on their own, which is actually the safest option for you, to be totally honest with you. You can do that. Or if you want to be a little bit, just a little bit more, make it tangible for them, then you can go ahead and tell them that you'll partially invest if you get 3 to 4 enrollments off their post. And y'all got to make sure that the enrollments are full price enrollments, not discount. So it's that second option is totally up to you. I prefer the first option, to be honest with you. Sometimes, again, I do that second option, but that's my personal choice. If I had to advise anybody on what to do, I would say the first option is safer for you, which is creating the urgency. Now, I wanted to kind of go into the presentations, but with the flow of everything, since we just talked about enrolling agents, it seems more smart to just talk about launching a new agents. Oops. So let's do that. Let's talk about launching new agents. All right, so it's 2 different ways you can launch new agents. Number 1, you can use feslaunch.com, password freedom, or you can use the FES agent app plus new launch document. Both ways work. To be totally honest with you, I use both. I use a mixture of both to launch my agents, to be totally honest with you. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So, the very first thing I do, send them feslaunch.com, password freedom, watch first 3 videos. That's what I do. I tell them to do that. Number 1, so that way they can get a head start. Number 2, that way they can already be plugged into top leaders, because the very first person who's going to be speaking to them once they get on their website is going to be Alfred Nixon. So if you got Alfred Nixon being the first person to tell you about the type of mindset that you need to have in order to get into this business, then you starting off right. So I love that. So I give them that, so that way they can watch the first 3 videos. And when they're finished watching the first 3 videos, that's when we'll go ahead and get on Zoom. Now, once you get on Zoom, you can choose to use the old launch document or new launch document. And this is why I say I use both. This is why I say I use a mixture of both. Because on the feslaunch.com website, the old launch document is on there. But I don't use the old launch document to launch people. I pretty much use the new launch document. So I'll use the old stuff for the videos, but I'll use the new stuff for the launch on Zoom. So for me, I use new document. And pretty much what that document looks like is, let me go to it so that way y'all can see. And I can email this to you guys too. I'm gonna ask everybody to drop their emails in the chat. That way I can kind of email this and email the recording as well. What's this? Yeah, that's it. So this is what the new launch document looks like. I like this one. It's the same thing. It's got the same information as the old launch document. However, it's a little different in the fact that it implements the use of our apps. This is something that is not included in that old launch document. That's why I use a mixture of both, because I like the fact that this one introduces your agents to the FES agent app as well as the UCES protection plan app. The other thing I like is that the apps allow you to launch and to activate your services. So if you got your prospect to download the apps with step 1, you're already getting them familiar with the apps. With step 2, they can watch the 5 short videos in the launch process. Each video is about 2 minutes long. It's 5 videos, so it's about 10 minutes to get through this part. And this pretty much break down the basic logistics of the business. So I like walking them through this because it's like, once you go through step 1 and step 2, after you done already watched all 3 of those videos on FESlaunch.com, you really shouldn't have any questions about how to run the business. I mean, you'll have questions along the way, but I'm talking about like initial startup questions. Everything should be answered and clear cut for you. Step 3 is where you're getting them to activate their services. And a lot of you guys may or may not know that your prospects, that's for agent and client, can actually activate their services straight from the app. So it's a really easy, simple way to walk them through setting up their services. And I like that. So they can do that straight from their phone. So that's why I use this. And then step 4, it gives them a chance to go ahead and set up their shop for less. So this is pretty much the most important part of the new launch document. That's why I use this one as opposed to using the old one. Now, just like the old one, it does get you to help them determine their why, locate and document their important information, and also create their list of people. But it also has a new agent checklist that I like. So this also keeps you on track during your launch process too. I go through this with all new agents while we're on Zoom. After I get done the why, the important info, and steps 1 through 4, then we'll go through this checklist. So by that point, everybody will have already had the first thing checked off because they already downloaded the apps. Everybody will have already activated their protection plan services. I tell people to set up your own shop for less after the launch, because I don't have the patience to do this part. And it's definitely something that somebody can do individually. It's very manageable to do individually. So I tell everybody, like, we're going to skip this part. You can do this later. You always want to teach them how to set up the direct deposit. I do it right there on Zoom so they can see it. So I'm going to show you how I do it. Pretty much, I will log into my account. It's probably going to require me to log in again. Yep. So I will show them that I'm logging into my account. Show them to go to the commissions tab. Show them to go to direct deposit enroll. And then show them how to fill this out. And click submit at the bottom. Show them all of that. So that way they know how to set up that direct deposit. Let me go back to this. Oh no, that's not what I was supposed to go back to. This. Then you want to also show them how to upload the profile picture to their FES site. So a lot of you guys already know how to do that, but I'll show you again. Pretty much you go to this arrow on the side. Their icon is going to be gray, excuse me. Their icon is going to be gray. It's going to be an arrow next to it. Click on the arrow, go to profile, go down to upload photo, and then get them to change their photo. So that's how you do that. Another thing, this isn't on this new launch document, but I always add it in. So after I teach them this, I teach them how to set up their FES Connect site too. So they'll go into the FES Connect, they'll go to manage account. As a new agent, instead of this saying manage, it's going to say activate. So they're going to click on activate. It's going to teach them to pick a template. They're going to pick a template. I always use the third one. They're going to change their photo by clicking on the icon that's going to be there and uploading the photo. And then when they're finished, they're going to hit publish. And then they're going to have this website at their disposal whenever they are communicating with agent leads. So this is something that's really good to show them as well. It's not going to be on the launch document. Like you don't see it on the checklist at all, but add it in there for your agents, for your new agents. The next thing, you want to encourage them to create the list of 100 to 150 names. Now this directive right here, it refers back to those 3 videos that they watched initially before y'all even got on Zoom to do the launch document. So Billy Scott actually in the second video, he explains the importance of the list. He explains the importance of the PBR, of the launch and all of that. So they should already be aware of why they are creating a list of 100 to 500 names. Now, when I tell them about this, another thing that I always do is send them the memory jogger. So y'all want to do that too. Make sure you send them the memory jogger so that as they're creating their list, they actually are good and they have a reference. You also want to invite them to their very first webinar. Right? So it's usually going to be that night, especially if you signed them up on a weeknight. Usually we're going to have a webinar that night. So invite them there. Now, this is something that's important. You also want to invite them to our group called Credit and Financial Freedom Breakthrough. And just like how they're creating a list of 100 to 500 names, you want to tell them to go inside of Credit and Financial Freedom Breakthrough and add everyone from their friends list to that group. That's going to be a game changer for all your new agents because they're pretty much inviting everybody to that group, and that group is pretty much being used as a way to expose people to the information that they have to offer. So along with getting ready for their PBR, they also need to do a huge blitz invite to the Credit and Financial Freedom Breakthrough group. So make sure you guys are telling all your new agents that. You also want to make sure that they get connected with their upline sales director and their upline vice president. So you can give them my number, you can give them my sister's number, or you can give them Andrea's number. Make sure they have your number too, of course. And then you want to make sure that you tell them about our trainings. We have training every Sunday night at 8 p.m. That's with corporate. Our team be having trainings on Sunday nights too, but corporate has a standard 8 p.m. training every Sunday night, and we have a standard 9 p.m. training every Monday night. Make sure you tell your people about training. Also, you want to plug them into agent support so that way they know that they can get in contact with somebody from corporate if they need to. And you want to outline their goals. Now, there is a video that I have been sharing in the Waymakers group, an Alfred Nixon video that outlines everybody's goals when they first get in. It talks about field trainer, senior field trainer, and then ultimately sales director. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you outline their goals with them and make sure that they know that they need to hit field trainer. But you also want to follow up by sending them that video. Okay, so if you guys need that video, let me know. I'll send it to you. And you guys want to make sure you send it to them so that they know what their goals are initially. And then another thing that Amira has been doing that has actually been working very well, I love it, is now what she'll do is she'll start to create the list with her new agents while she's on Zoom with them. So before, we were just telling people to make their list and then trusting that they would do it, but a lot of people don't do it. So what you want to do is give them a head start. You want to start creating a list with them, help them come up with their first 20 names, and then once they start to get a flow of how to create the list, then you want to let them go on ahead and create the list. All right, this page right here, I kind of usually ignore. It gives you some ideas on how to invite and things like that, but our team does a good job at inviting, so we already have resources that we use you know, to get somebody to invite. But it doesn't hurt to have your prospect look over the information if need be. Actually, you know what? Don't have them look over the information because it might confuse them. Some people think too much, so don't tell them they don't have to worry about that. In this roadmap to sales director page, this pretty much is going to explain all of the things that are in that Alfred Nixon video that I was telling you guys about, you know, that you want to send to your new agent. So that's pretty much how to launch a new agent. Launching an agent, once you do it the first time, is literally the same thing each and every time. It's a system. Just got to have a system. Again, you got to learn when you got to plug certain things in. So right here is where you want to plug in the FES Connect setup too. And right here is where you also want to plug in the fact that you're going to invite them to the Credit and Financial Freedom Breakthrough group and have them invite everybody from their friends list to their group. But yeah, it's just about staying on track, doing the same thing the same way each and every time and getting the same results. And I'm going to tell y'all this, as the leaders, one thing that everybody should be aware of is the fact that even if you launch somebody right, even if you get them started right, that does not mean they're going to work this business. So don't get attached to nobody. Once you launch them and when you went through this whole process with them, detach yourself from them and see what they're going to do. Let them work. Let them bring you people to get on three-way calls with. Let them ask you questions. You detach, because once you detach, that's how you're going to know who's going to be there for you as far as your team and who's not. And it's really important. So you know, detach. I do definitely say check in on your team every once in a while, but you don't want to check in with your team too much to the point where they feel like it's overbearing, especially if they're not doing anything. If they ignoring the business, then you ignore them. Not trying to be smart, no malice, no shade, no nothing like that. But in this business, you got to have energy. And you got to make sure that you're putting your energy in the right places. So if you're putting your energy on people who aren't working, it's going to dim you down and dim your light down and slow you down. So you got to focus your energy on the people who are working. And if you ain't got nobody working, then you got to focus your energy on recruiting some new people. But that's pretty much it for the new agent launch. As far as the presentation goes, we're not going to get into that today. We'll probably have to get into that sometime this week. We can do another leaders call maybe Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday. Those are usually some good days for everybody. But I'm going to just show y'all where to get the resources from that you are going to need to present. Oh, wait. All right, so you want to go to marketing. You want to go to presentation. This is only for the business opportunity. And this is where you'll see the business presentation, okay? This is in your FES back office. This is only for the second half. Now, if you want to practice the first half, which I highly recommend, because this is going to help you with mastering those client calls as well. Client calls, I'm telling y'all, client calls are so much harder than agent calls. You want to go into your enrollment/marketing on your UCES site, go to presentation, and this is where you can find the client PowerPoint. All right, so this is the PowerPoint for clients. This is where you find the PowerPoint for agents. And the next time we trade, you know, within the leadership group, we will talk about presenting. Okay, everybody good with that? Yeah, still there?
Yes, I'm good.
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect. All right, cool. So that's it. We pretty much ran our course. We do have a training at 7. So try to take like a couple minutes break.
Can't hear you. You got low.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so you kind of want to take the next couple of minutes just to take a little break. We do have a 7 p.m. training. So I do want everybody to hop on that because they're going to be teaching us how to strongly close out this volume month. So take a couple minutes to yourself, hop on that training. I'm going to upload this video to YouTube and then send this out to everybody. And I'm going to make a list of all the other resources that I mentioned, and I'll put that stuff in the leadership group as well.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. No problem. Y'all did it. Thank y'all for coming. I'm really excited about the fact that you guys came and stayed the whole time.
This is wonderful.
Thank you.
It was really useful. Like literally, it helped me out so much.
I think it helped
I'm
me
glad y'all feel
too.
like that.
It answered like everything for me personally.
Good.
I just called Miracle today to say, hey, I've been slacking a little bit because I've been doing this, that, and the third. And before I start this week, I need to know exactly what am I doing, my goals, and how am I talking to clients and agents. So this came on right in time.
Yep.
And also with you telling me about the advertising and everything. So I was like, I need to get down to that.
Oh yeah, we gotta get on that tonight.
Yeah, I was trying to get everything together because I start work Monday. And so I'm like, I'm still going to do 100 and push 100 for this. So I needed to know what I need to do for my agents because they're slacking.
Yeah.
So.
And I've reached out to you too, Akira and Audrey. I reached out to them over the weekend, and they both seem kind of like disconnected or whatever. I think they got personal stuff going on. So, me and you might have to actually come up with a game plan. If that's
I mean, my game plan basically for them is give them a check and let them get motivated by that. So it seems like I have to do the work for them to understand, like, and let them be like, oh my gosh, I just come in my bank account. So
right. That's exactly what it is. I'm glad you already on that road because I was going to say that's probably what we're going to have to do for them, which is it's not an issue. Akira actually had a post that I was actually talking to a couple of leads for agents. So she got, a little bit of leeway. I think Audrey kind of got discouraged when her 2 pre-apps kind of fell through. But I think she'll be back. She's strong-minded, so I think she'll be back. I think she's just going through some other stuff. But I do think that if we get them that belief check, that'll help them. That'll help them start pushing.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I was telling Miracle about that too. I was like, yeah, I need to know how. So I need to ask them today. I'm gonna ask them tonight to give me their URL. So, because I was asking her, how do I do, would they need to be on the phone when I'm talking to a client or an agent in order for them to go underneath them? And so Miracle was like, no, I can just get their URL.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, they don't have to be. They don't have to be. They checked out. I wouldn't even, you don't even have to ask them for their URL. I'll show you how to get it. I'll show you how to.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. They checked out. they'll be back. I really think they'll be back, but they checked out. They're young, so I think a lot of it is having to do with personal development too. But yeah, so I'm gonna call you tonight too, Tiana. That way we can get your ad running.
Well, actually, I mean, if it's gonna be tonight, it's gonna have to be real late.
That's fine.
I'm actually supposed to be at a birthday party.
Okay.
With my kids, and I feel so horrible because I'm late. Things started at 4:30. I didn't go because of this, but it's family, so I know it's gonna be long. So, but I'll shoot you a text and see if we still up. More than likely, I'll be back by. I don't know because I'm about to go on this meeting, but it's gonna be in and out. I know they were fake. So.
All right. Well, we'll just play it by ear.
All right.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you later.
Good. Have a good evening.
You too.